Kidnapped, walking the scene with you in outfits from the 90s. So keen, the VHS Club, they're the talk of the town. Breaking it down, spreading nostalgia all around. Moving and grooving to the synth-pop sound. Their insights so fresh, painting pictures profound. From Pulp Fiction to Clueless, they know it all. The genuine love for movies stands strong. Unfolding memories on that VHS screen, talking about classics like you've never seen. Katie with her charm, Matt with that wit. Together they make the VHS Club legit.
So, okay, like right now, for example, the Haitians need to come to America. But some people are all, what about the strain on our resources? And it's like, when I had this garden party for my father's birthday, right? People came that like did not RSVP. So I was like totally bugging. I had to haul ass to the kitchen, squish in extra place settings, and like people were on mismatched chairs and all. But by the end of the day, it was like the more the merrier. And so if the government could just get to the kitchen, rearrange some things, we could certainly party with the Haitians.
Wow. You guys talk like grown-ups.
Oh, well, this is a really good school.
Mr. Hall was way harsh. He gave me a C minus.
Well, he gave me a C, which drags down my entire average.
Hello? There was a stop sign?
I totally paused. You try driving in platforms.
Oh, should I write them a note?
Ew! Get off of me! As if.
Cher's got attitude about high school boys.
It's a personal choice every woman has got to make for themselves.
Cher's saving herself for Luke Perry.
Cher, you're a virgin?
I mean, I'm not prude. I'm just highly selective. I mean, you see how picky I am about my shoes, and they only go on my feet.
Nice stems.
Thanks.
What the hell is that?
A dress.
Says who?
Calvin Klein.
What are you doing? Yo, you getting on the freeway! Get out of the
You go, girl.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Whatever. Did I miss something? This big hair back?
Amber, my plastic surgeon doesn't want me doing any activity where balls fly at my nose.
Well, there goes your social life.
I'm gonna be a supermodel.
Welcome back to the VHS Club. It's Clueless night, and we have Katya hanging out with us, so it's an even more special Clueless slumber party girl night. welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here with you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun because we have all the feelings about Clueless, and it looks like we have some of our favorite people hanging out with us. We have Hank and Paul, and Josh is here. And Josh said he saw it years ago, but didn't get around to watching it last night for the review. So we'll have to remind Josh of all of the vibes of this one. This is a good one. I had seen this one. Everyone here has seen this one, right? We're checked all the boxes.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. How many times do we think we've seen this one? How many times have you seen this one, Cassia?
Are we supposed to?
Well, it came out in 1995, and so I've probably watched it like at least once a year since then. So a bit.
So like 5 years. Okay. So we got it. Yeah. I don't even know how many times. This was, and weirdly, I feel like this one aged well.
It did. It holds up. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it is based on Jane Austen's Emma, so it's held up real well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holding
But
up
the
since
clothes,
the Regency.
everything.
I know everything's back in style now, so maybe that's why it feels. I'm like, oh yeah, it feels totally appropriate now.
Absolutely, and the soundtrack rocks. It's awesome.
All right, Nat, you want to give us our IMDb leveled debrief on what this one is about?
Paragraph.
Take us
All
really
right.
in depth here on the plot and story
So
of this
in-depth.
movie.
So Clueless, a movie about a rich LA high school where a bunch of rich kids go, and there is a new girl, and the two popular girls decide to make her their project, their makeover project, and the main character, Cher, whose best friend is Dionne, adorably named after famous singers, and who are not doing infomercials, by the way.
I know that was
that was really shady.
wildly
I was like,
insulting.
Whoa! I'm like, Dionne Warwick's not doing infomercials, and Cher has never.
Cher would never.
Cher would never, exactly.
Never. So they take this new girl, Ty, under their wing. They try, and Cher gets kind of this idea to set her up. She successfully sets up two of her teachers, the debate teacher and the English teacher. And by doing that, all the kids suddenly get like lax homework assignments and they're getting better grades. So she sees the success of the budding romance. Everybody at school loves her for distracting the teachers from schoolwork, and she's like, I can do this again. So she kind of gets this high from doing it the first time, fails miserably, and then has sort of this coming of age growth moment where she realizes that everybody is good just the way they are, and she falls in love. That's basically it. With Paul Rudd. With Paul
Rudd. Who doesn't? Who here doesn't fall in love with Paul Rudd? In this movie, in any movie, just in real life, you know, all of the things.
The man who doesn't really age?
Yeah.
Does he age? I mean,
well, isn't he in his 50s now and he looks identical? Like he's a little bit more gray at the temples, but
not
aging
even
like a fine wine.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. He is, I can't say, I want to say like he's my favorite part of this movie, but I don't know if he totally, like there's just so many good parts of this movie and so many good characters in this movie. I don't know if I can fully say that, but I want to because he's always my favorite. But yeah.
Important bits.
Oh, go for it.
Just gonna say important bits about this movie: the soundtrack, the outfits, the costumes, and the dialogue.
Yeah.
It was iconic the instant it came out. It was so incredibly popular. It changed pop culture, all while representing pop culture at the same time. It was so strange, and it's still relevant now. If you ask most kids now, if they're doing like a high school 90s party, you know, like a themed party, they're going to watch this movie to look for references. To figure out what to wear. And it's funny because even though the main characters, Cher and Dionne and Ty, like they all have these crazy outfits, which wasn't the norm at the time. But if you look at a lot of the other characters, like it was very representative of what people were wearing at the time. It was very accurate to 1995.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And like with the Spice Girls coming out fast on the heels of this, and that whole girl power and like, you know, wearing miniskirts and platforms suddenly became like a feminist statement as opposed to anything creepy about, you know, wearing a plaid miniskirt and what that might represent.
Yeah, exactly.
53, you guys. 53 is the number of like plaid / tartan pieces in this movie.
Nice.
Apparently 12 worn by Cher, or no, 7 worn by Cher and 12 by other cast members. So I'm like, now I need to go back and like watch the movie and just count all the different, seven tartan / plaid
Count
outfits.
instances of plaid.
Yeah, worn by Cher and 12 by other major characters.
Well,
So
there's a lot of plaid shirts.
lots of plaid.
Which was very grunge, very
Yeah.
skater, very
everything. Just all the things. It's
Oh, yeah.
Still awesome. I'm still very sad that I don't have the like yellow plaid dress suit outfit. And we were talking before we jumped on also her like electronic closet. I'm not even like a fashionista. I don't even have enough clothes to be able to populate that closet, but being able to like push the buttons to like, have AI help design my outfit feels like it would be a real win for me.
I'm still waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not on the market yet, and why?
Yeah, this is.
I bet you if you asked ChatGPT though, it could probably pull something similar off for you. Of like, to...
Be right back. I'm gonna go design some things with my friend Chad. That is awesome. Well,
this is the first movie that I remember getting into an argument with my mother about going to see because she didn't think it was appropriate for 10-year-old me. I disagreed strongly and went to go see it afterwards without her permission. Sorry, Mom. But she was very against this whole, like, how grown up it seemed. And these girls had phones and were driving cars and seemed kind of irresponsible. And so that it was sort of a defining moment of my childhood watching this movie for the first time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think it was like a very defining moment for all of us that grew up in this era because it was. And what's cool too about it, and maybe I just noticed this rewatching this and not necessarily originally, but these characters are fairly vapid. They're spoiled. They're certainly from Beverly Hills. They have tons of money, but like, I love the father in this movie because he's like wonderfully supportive at the same time. Like if you think about this, and we've been talking a lot in these episodes, maybe I'm just like harping on this, but unlike the kind of like 90s dad tropes throughout movies and TV, and he's not really like a lot of the other 90s dads in movies and TV where he's like wealthy and powerful and like he's got the don't mess with my daughter kind of cliche and vibe.
Well, I have a 45 speech.
Yeah, sure. I'll kill you and I'll bury you. Which totally, yeah.
The 45 and a shovel.
Yeah.
What he said.
Which is fantastic. But then he's also like, he's got so Paul Rudd's character, for the few who have not seen it or haven't seen it recently, Paul Rudd's character is an ex-stepbrother of Cher, right? But he's still welcomed into the house and like helping it. Like this dad is still like fostering a relationship with him and is like, asks his daughter for help and checks it and like puts up with her like fussing over him. Like he's really like kind of a sensitive, nice, present dad. He's checking in on like what she's doing. He's doing all of the right things, which is not what you see in a lot of the like, especially in the like rich kid cliche moments in movies and TV, particularly from the 90s. So it was actually I feel like he's a really lovable character.
Totally, yeah.
Because he's just like, I don't know, he's a cliche, but in a very different way.
I love the scene where Josh is like,
and
are you going to let her?
He doesn't want her in the valley,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, he was right about that. She did, get mugged at gunpoint. So. But I was going to say, I love how Josh is like, are you going to let her leave the house like that? And she's wearing her like tight little mini Calvin Klein dress. And he's like, go put something over it. And she puts a sheer shirt over it.
Yeah.
So really, like she didn't
Love
I
that.
thought that was so funny. I also love how the dad points
This
out
totally
that
makes it better.
Yeah, exactly.
it's completely see-through.
Exactly.
I love how the dad, he tells her at one point, like, you're the one who takes care of everybody. Like, didn't you notice? Like, you're the one who makes sure I eat healthy even though I don't want to. And, like, you take care of the whole household. You take care of your stepbrother when he's not even family anymore, technically. And, like, you take care of your friends and you're always concerned about others and trying to help people. It's like she didn't realize that for herself. And then her dad who has this insanely busy job, but he seems to be working from home so he could be in her life, you know? And I just thought that was a really special moment.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite characters. Katya, who's your favorite character? Or you can pick a couple if you want. If you're like me and are like, no. Hard pass. Next question.
I like a few of them. I mean, I like Dionne. I think she's sassy. I think she's a great best friend. I don't know, the three lead females are all fantastic, and then Paul Rudd's just cute. But
yeah, I totally agree. I love Dionne's relationship because it's totally ridiculous and very like high school love, but it's also kind of awesome. Like there's these like moments where they're just screamy and terrible, and then there's like these moments where they're just, you could just tell that they really care about each other. And it's actually like, again, like for a movie that is like, I don't know, airing on kind of the I don't know what at a very like surface level, they have very deep relationships, and I think it's kind of interesting to see. Particularly in Dionne's relationship. Apparently Paul Rudd auditioned for her boyfriend. Murray, is that his name?
Yes, for Murray. Yes. Yeah. Could you imagine Paul Rudd in that role? That would be so bizarre.
And then he was apologetic because he totally misread the script, and he thought that the character was supposed to be like a white guy, like acting like a black guy. Yeah, like a wannabe. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. This isn't for me. Just like backed out of that and ended up being the other character. But yeah, I thought it was pretty great. It's like, yeah, that would have made it a really different movie for sure.
It would have indeed, yeah.
I also really like, is it Travis Birkenstock? The skater dude. Stoner. I loved him too. He's so sincere. People, like the popular clique, they kind of treat him like garbage, especially like Amber makes a lot of poor comments towards his way, and sometimes Cher does, though she does try to be nice, but she behind his back makes some not great comments. And he's just like, I don't care. I'm still going to be friends with you, even if you're not friends with me, and I'm still going to invite you places. And he like never gives up, and he's just like, whatever. And he ends up being exactly the nice guy and ends up with Ty, and it's super cute. But I love how he's just so like happy-go-lucky, and he takes Cher super seriously when she
takes
like,
her feedback.
You shouldn't be smoking. You shouldn't be smoking weed at school. Like, it's one thing at a party, which is fine, but to do that, like to be stoned all day, and then he's like, I'm in recovery, and he like cleans up his act and like tries to like go to become a professional skater. And I'm just like, that's amazing.
He's fantastic. And Ty is awesome as well. I mean, I think Brittany Murphy just like really nailed that role. And I love how like malleable she is. Like they're just like, we think you like that guy, and she's like, okay. Like, sure. I'm just kidding, this guy, and she's like, also good. I love, like, she is like hardcore in love with, like, wants to burn their stuff on the other side. 3 men in this movie, maybe more at some point or another, which I don't know. She's just she's like wildly innocent, and yet is hilariously the least innocent of them sexually. So
she's trio, yeah.
And I mean, even just life experience wise, like she's like had done drugs. She's like a major partier. She's the one that's not a virgin. She's the one, which begs the question, like, where is she from? Because she feels very not like the rest of the school. Like, how is she at this school with like all like wealthy, I don't know, well, like, is she like a scholarship kid? I had a lot of questions about her background. Like, where did she come from?
Yeah, how did you get here, and where exactly is that accent from?
Yeah, where is that accent from? American friends that are watching and listening, please tell us where you think this accent is from. The 3 Canadians here were very baffled by this accent.
Does not compute.
Yeah, exactly. Kathy said she loved Brittany Murphy. I did love, in researching facts for this movie, it said, and hey, I gotta find the exact quote because it was just epic. At one point, Brittany Murphy insults Cher by calling her a virgin who can't drive. Murphy confessed later that at the time of filming, she was the only virgin that couldn't drive.
Nice.
Which I just think is absolutely incredible. I'm like, well, all right, there you go. Honesty on set. I think it's great.
Okay,
so it's a great sentence to try to roll into something. Like, you should throw that at people if ever you can. It's useful.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. I mean, accurate too. So it worked out. Cut deep.
So,
Absolutely
what's our
catchy.
favorite quote from the movie?
Oh,
Because there's a lot of
gosh.
very, very quotable lines.
Oh, there's so many good ones.
Mhm.
There's so many good ones. And I did drop in the comments of show notes if you're listening later, or description if you're here with us on YouTube, but there's like a list of them, a website that has like all of the kind of, they call them Shakespearean. I was making fun of Nat for this because she was like, it's so Shakespeare. I was like, this is Austin. You are wrong. English nerd wrong. I was like, no, I mean the language. So yeah, there's list of quotes.
My comment was to Katie when she was rewatching the movie. She's like, I'm rewatching the movie. And I was like, I love the dialogue in this movie. I love the quotes. I'm like, it's like Shakespeare. And she's like, it's Austin, Nat. And it's like, no, I see that.
All I read was it's Shakespeare, and I was like, incorrect.
I'm like, you are right. And I didn't explain myself. And then she sends me an article today that's saying that the dialogue is basically Shakespeare. She's like, so you were right that whole time? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Credit where credit's due. My favorite is as if. Excuse me. I love that line, and I love the moment where the guy like runs up to her at the beginning to she just like shoves him out of the way with that one. Yeah, I feel like I used that and whatever I used endlessly, and my dad thought were like the greatest things ever. Like this was his favorite movie when I was growing up.
Like where you do the W with your hands.
Whatever.
Oh yes, we all had to do that.
What movie was, so I thought it was in this movie, and now I'm on a hunt, so anyone here or watching. So this movie has whatever with a W, but there is another movie that has whatever, and then it spins down to like
Super Loser or something.
Yeah,
like
like
that?
Super Loser, and then it's walk away with the hands. My dad had like that whole thing memorized. This one and Dumb and Dumber were his two.
Wasn't that Dumb and Dumber?
Maybe it was Dumb. I was gonna say those two were like his jam for lines. But yeah, it was not in this one.
I'm like, I see Jim Carrey doing that.
Yeah, it might be
that
Jim
seems
Carrey.
something a full body that you would throw into.
All right, Paul's got some of his favorites. Paul says the line where Mel says, "Hey, anything happens to my daughter, I got a 45 and a shovel. I doubt anyone would miss you." And shares, "I want to do something for humanity. Josh, how about sterilization?" Which is fantastic. All right, Cassie, over to you. What's your favorite?
I think just the use of like, frankly, because as a millennial, it's impossible to do dialogue without using the word like, and it's become so instrumental in our daily lexicon that I think it really started to originate with this film.
Accurate. Now I'm like, how
very,
often do I
very
like, say
Valley
like?
Girl, very
Yeah.
I think my
But it
favorite
brought that
was
Valley Girl speak in. Oh, it was going to say, brought that Valley Girl speak into common parlance, right? Like that it was such a regional dialect at that time, and now everybody speaks this way, and everybody has that vocal fry, and everybody sounds like a Kardashian, and I think a lot of that really started with this movie.
Yeah.
Cher.
Yeah.
I think my favorite was at the house party in the Valley, speaking of, where she bumps into Amber, and Amber's wearing her dress that she wore the day before. And that's obviously,
taboo.
That's like dropping your gloves. That's fighting, right? And she says, do you prefer fashion victim or ensemble challenged? I love that.
Yes.
I don't know why that tickled me so much.
Oh, there's some really good ones. Hank has Christian, do you like Billie Holiday? Cher, love him.
Love him. Yes.
Which I would not have caught as a kid, but I totally appreciated this go around. I thought. And Doc has, a great one. He's a disco dancing, Oscar Wilde reading, Streisand ticket holding friend of Dorothy.
Friend of Dorothy.
Know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That got me good. I love that
They
one.
were so good. But it is a good point, though, because I do think on one hand, it is sort of like, again, like sort of like flippant Valley talk, right? But then they've also elevated it because there's even a line where Ty says at the beginning, I don't remember the exact line, but she's like, we heard it in the trailer where she was like, you all are like so well spoken.
You talk like real grown-ups.
Yeah, you talk like real grown-ups. And they do. There is, to Nat's credit, a Shakespearean vibe in their in how they're speaking, which I think is super hard to pull off in dialogue and in acting, for it to be silly and vapid and Valley Girl, but also smart and eloquent and and interesting, which this movie nails, and I don't think another movie has done it since so well. There's been different like styles of dialogue that have been really well done in other movies, but not like this. This is a magic in itself.
I mean, this created a generation. Like this brought us from being like this is, like you said, like it's a millennial kind of thing. We all do it. Like we all do it. I
know, yeah.
See, once you pay attention to it, you can't unhear that.
Yeah, even when I text, I write that out. I add like into how I write in conversation, not like in a professional email or
in all my work emails. Just for context.
I've probably sent a few work emails that have like in it, I'm not gonna lie.
If you but still. And like even just how they delivered the lines. How the lines were delivered were just so, like, you think that these are very stupid, vapid people. That's how they're presented. That's what we're supposed to sort of see. But then, as we're saying, like, when you hear them talk, it's sharp and it's cutting. And as I think Hank just pointed out in the audience, when they're in gym class that we also saw in the trailer, where Amber's like, my plastic surgeon doesn't want me to do anything with balls coming towards my face. And Dionne's like, there goes your social life. That is so quick.
Brutal and savage.
So good.
Brutal and savage.
And I love how they're friends. Like, they're in the same friend group with Amber, but they also seem to have an intense rivalry with her.
Yeah.
It's a very, like, keep your friends close, your enemies closer situation, it seems.
Yeah. We are going to have to, so it's interesting because we're doing this one as part of like a slumber party girls series. So four movies, but in research, it came up that, so the director of this movie is well known for all these coming of age stories, starting with Fast Times at Ridgemont High, then Clueless, and then ending with Loser from 2000, which I remember really enjoying. And I'm like, oh man, we're gonna have to go back and do those other two and maybe like revisit Clueless in that conversation, because it would be interesting to kind of compare those. And Doc was saying that like this movie formed us as women in the way that Animal House formed the Generation Xers. So it'd be interesting to compare Fast Times compared to this, and then Loser on the other side. Maybe Loser is where the two L's and the W come in. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Maybe it was Loser. I know that they had the L on the forehead, right? But
yes.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at it through those lenses. All right, so 3 English majors in the house. We would be remiss if we didn't ask or think about how accurate, I guess, this is to Austen's Emma. How close is it? Does it still check the boxes of being Emma?
100%.
It totally does. Yeah.
What did they miss is the better question.
Yeah. They changed
there were some gender reversals, right?
Yep.
Like, I think some of the characters that she set up were reversed in Emma, that there was a few more guys that she was trying to push forward and less focus on the female, but I'm not surprised Heckerling went for more feminist characters.
Yeah. And then you have the character of Christian, who, in the book is married or engaged. Emma's not my strongest one out of all the Austens, but and then this one is unavailable because he's a friend of Dorothy and is never going to be in love with her, which I thought was a great update to kind of put it into the 90s and still make it fun, because obviously if he was married or engaged in high school, it would be weird.
I mean, they have Emma having the successful setup of the relationship with her governess, who's getting married to one of the rich townspeople. So that's like the teachers, like the old people can be so cute sometimes.
Old people can be so cute sometimes.
And then we have the perceived like poor girl, Ty, and I can't remember her name from Emma, but the girl that's at the girls' school that Emma kind of takes under her wing, which is the same as Ty, and tries to set her up with the guy, only to find out that the guy is interested in Emma / Cher, which Elliot.
Yeah.
What's his? Yeah, that's not his name.
Elton.
Elton. I'm like, Elliot is so wrong.
I
Was it Elliot
paused
in the book?
to remember in my mind. It was like, not Elliot.
It was
no.
Miss Elliot. Was it Miss Elliot in the book? Anyways, now my brain is just
Yeah, they're blended.
So that was accurate. Though in the book, he didn't try to essentially force himself on her, like date rape her in a car. He tried to propose to her, which was just as heinous. So,
It's
More
funny 'cause
appropriate.
yeah.
More appropriate for Austin's time.
Yeah.
yes.
His character is, I would argue, more like more evil feeling. Like Austin's characters feel lighter and more silly than this one, where you're like, oh, I don't care for him, and like you don't care for him from the very beginning. Like you're like, I don't care for him. There's something like, I don't trust this guy.
Too good looking. His hair's too perfect. You know, like you could tell.
Yeah.
He had that floofy 90s hair that like him and Hugh Grant had. Nobody else. Like,
Oh my God, that's true.
I'm like, oh, there's something wrong with him. He's too good looking. He's going to be a bad guy.
He's too good looking. And you're like, he's obviously in love with you, Cher. And also maybe love's not the right word. Maybe just like keep an eye out for him.
Possessive,
Maybe some like mace in your bag. Because it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well.
Status thing.
I did love the I didn't love the fact that she was mugged, but I do love that scene where she has to like call for help. And I was like, I don't even know how many phone numbers. If this happened to me now and I did not have my cell phone, I'd be game over. I'd be able to call maybe like Dane and UNet, and it would not be helpful because you'd be in Canada and I would be in trouble. But yeah, she just had like his phone number memorized of his like college dorm because he's not even at home. So I was impressed by that. But
we used to know everybody's phone number.
It's true. We did know.
Like, I still remember your phone number from when you lived across the street. Like, that's
true story.
Not your like that was your phone number when you were 7. And I still know it, but I don't know anybody's number now. I did not recently did get there was a situation. There was a situation where I didn't have my cell phone and I got locked out of the house. Okay, and what a typical.
Tell us more about this situation, Nat.
No. So embarrassing. Oh, anyways, it ended in like I don't know anybody's phone number.
Did you have to break into your own house?
I tried.
She ended up getting some very strong, muscly help breaking back into her house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We know what you were up to. Since this is a slumber party, we know that you were just trying to seduce the firefighters, and so this was all a ploy.
Just happened to like have the oven on, get locked out of the house. And like and being, I guess it's. I mean, you would know it if you're a Montrealer, but technically the three of us are Montrealers. Call 911 and they're like, not our problem.
Hang up, yeah.
I'm literally, it's like the middle of the night. It's cold, it's raining, and I'm in my pajamas. And I found a neighbor like 2 blocks down that was having a house party. And I'm asking these drunk, like, 20-year-old guys, like, hey, I'm the old lady that lives on the other street there. Can I borrow one of your cell phones? Yeah, it was great. And 911 is like, not our problem. Hung up on me. I'm like, maybe your job, isn't it supposed to be to calm somebody in an emergency situation down? Like, couldn't you even just call me a cab? Like, to bring me to somebody else's house? I'm like, anyways, whatever. I got in. After calling 911 4 times, I finally was like, but my oven is on. And she's like, well, why didn't you say that the first time? And I was like,
I shouldn't have to.
I thought mere distress was sufficient.
I know, it's like, I'm hysterical at this point. Anyways, whatever. I lived. We need to start memorizing people's phone numbers again.
Yeah, this is what we've learned. We need to start
memorizing
people's phone numbers.
In case of emergencies.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, my last fact that I wrote down is linked to this. So Paul Rudd was apparently mugged while filming this movie.
No.
And they grabbed his backpack, which had a copy of his script in it. I'm like, oh, I wonder if the person that mugged him, like, framed that. Like they were just like, I'm gonna
Right?
keep this just in case, and it's just like framed on their wall, unsigned because of the theft of it all. But yeah, definitely
If
not
the
a great
internet
moment
was
for
the way
Paul.
it is now, then he would have made a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
totally.
I wonder if they knew how.
You wonder if he even noticed. Like maybe
Yeah.
he threw the script.
Yeah, just like
Oh my God,
toss
there's no
the paper.
money
You know?
in it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll toss this paper, and only afterwards you were like, wait a minute, I think I remember that title somewhere. Why is it on a marquee?
Yeah. And Paul Rudd, as we've said numerous times, looks exactly the same now as he did that day. So I'm sure like every time he sees him, he's like, there's that guy that I vividly remember because he looks exactly the same.
He's telling his grandkids, I mugged Paul Rudd when I was younger.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Best story ever. I'd bring that up every holiday.
Yeah, I would bring that up all the time. I feel like he wouldn't be arrested at this point, so he's well past any kind of
Statute of limitations.
Statute of
is
limitations.
expired, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I have a game because it's again a slumber party. We'll see if this works.
Yay.
We're gonna try. Huge thanks
It's
to
like a
ECAM
quiz from a magazine.
It's like a quiz. Pretend that this is 17 magazine, and if you want to play
Okay.
with us, it's BuzzFeed, but we'll pretend it's 17 magazine. If you want to play with us, you can grab the link from the show notes or the description, and you'll have to just send us your answer on which Clueless character best matches your personality. We're gonna make Katya play, so because Nat already answered this, so we'll have to do it. All right. So first things first, how would you describe your personal style? Laid back, chic, bold, comfortable, trendy, or sleek?
Bold.
Bold. All right, bold.
Concur.
Choose an iconic 90s gal. I don't like gal as a word. All right, you have Kat from 10 Things I Hate About You, Phoebe from Friends, Juliet from Romeo and Juliet, Ashley from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Josie from Never Been Kissed, and Lisa from Saved by the Bell.
Cat is my spirit animal.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was not going to let you choose. All right, pick an iconic diss from Clueless. All right, so here we got some more quotes for everyone. What's with you, kid? You think the death of Sammy Davis left room in the Rat Pack? You're the virgin who can't drive. You're a virgin who can't drive. Do you prefer fashion victim or ensemble challenge? Oh, everyone's favorite quotes are coming up in this one. All
Right?
You're a snob and a half. No, she's a full-on Monet. From far away, it's okay, but up close, it's a big old mess. And whatever.
I think a virgin who can't drive. It's very specific. I like that about it.
All right. Okay. One outfit from Cher's closet. All right. So I'll have to describe this for our listeners. So there's the yellow plaid ensemble, the red plaid. Remember, there's 53 kinds of plaid. So there's the red
The
plaid.
red plaid is the one with the black beret.
Yeah,
also,
with the black
that's-
beret.
That is a close tie for me with the yellow one. Ooh.
Yeah, same.
All right. So there's the red name. I'm not going to try to read dress. The red dress. there's the.
I think
It's an Alaya.
Oh, there you
Alaya.
go. See, I have no sense of fashion. All right. The
Didn't
pink.
just watch the movie.
The pink bridesmaid dresses, the pink bridesmaid dress, excuse me, the white Calvin Klein slip dress, or the not collarless white shirt from Fred. All right.
I'll go red plaid. I'm more of a fall.
All right. Red plaid.
Yeah.
I take it.
Love
I take
a
it.
good black beret.
Choose- Now we're going random. We're going to choose something extremely random. All right. All right. So her Jeep, Elton's Cranberries CD, which I have to admit, I was like, I need this. Now that you said this, I need this again in my life. Amber's dress that she stole from Cher, Dionne's Dr. Seuss hat, Ty's Marvin the Martian drawings, or Murray's shaved head.
The Jeep, absolutely.
All right, the Jeep. We're going through the Jeep. All right, it's Friday night. What are you doing? Vegging on the couch, mall, binge watching Netflix, which feels wrong for this BuzzFeed. This is not, there was no Netflix then.
Binge watching gay iconic movies.
Oh, yeah, binge watching gay iconic movies.
Or like
Party,
TGIF, right?
Yeah, TGIF. I know, yeah. We're back to being like 10 through 15 at this point. Party, reading a good book. I don't know, just going with the flow.
These nights I would say party.
All right.
Nice.
Pick another character from Clueless, because what the heck? All right, which character are you going with?
I'm gonna go with Mel. I also like him. I think he's got good energy as a dad.
You are
God.
Dionne. All right, wait. We messed it up because we don't have our. Oh, this is what I got. There we go. Applause.
Thank you.
All right. our background music coming back to us. All right, Dionne, what did you get, Nat?
I got Josh.
Josh.
Which I
That's
was
Josh.
super excited.
We have some people playing at
I'm
home.
like,
So
I'm Paul Rudd adjacent.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for playing along. That was too fun. Doc is into the yellow plaid. Hank's
likes
into the white
white.
outfit.
Yeah.
We
The
have
one before she puts the sheer shirt over it.
They're pretty fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I miss
The
every...
costumes in this film were amazing, like top notch. They really, and they stand the test of time. I would pretty much wear everything Cher, Dionne, and Ty wear like today, including their gym outfits.
Yes.
Solid.
Definitely. And I would have to say it's from the movie. I don't know if I can just credit a product of the time or the movie itself, but the white, like, baby tee, like they used to call them baby doll tees.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're just the super fitted white t-shirt with like
Yep.
the little short sleeves with the black spaghetti strap tank top or camisole over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like I had it, but it was like one piece. It was just a shirt.
Just came like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, was that from the movie or was that just because like it literally was the style. It was so, and the biker
I
shirt.
might wear that tomorrow just for fun.
You should.
I found a bunch of my like clothes from high school. My mom was like, "We don't want these anymore," and like dropped them off. And nothing fits me. But my 9-year-old has been rocking like all of my. She like almost is old enough to fit into some of the bell-bottomy weird pants that I had, but all plaid.
Nice.
Apparently that was the thing. But yeah, sadly enough did not find any of the like things I really wanted. Like I had a foam pair of platform sandals that I still just miss to this day. Like they had
the
3
rainbow
different
strips in
colors of blue. They were like rainbow blue.
Yes.
And foamy, and I really want them back, but
I had those same sandals in gray.
I
know exactly what you're mentioning.
Not Clueless, but that's all I think about. I'm like, I want every outfit from Clueless, and also I would like those. I would probably totally break my ankle trying to walk in them today, but it might be worth it. Yeah. It might be worth it for me just to relive that moment. I think it'd be pretty great. Yeah, costumes great, music great. Favorite song?
What was your favorite song on the soundtrack?
Yeah. I like that I Want to Be a Supermodel as an intro. I thought that was like, it really set the scene perfectly. It like, it's fun. It looks like a Noxzema commercial. Everybody's at a party by the pool.
Yeah.
It looks like a Noxzema commercial.
I have to say, I love that one. I constantly get that in my head, and also Rolling with the Homies.
That was gonna be
like,
my
I think about that often, and I don't know why. It's just stuck with me since then.
It's so good. I just downloaded that one again. I feel like that's like my new thing. It's like Wednesday night, watch the movie, and then also download the soundtrack because now I'm in the space.
Now I'm in the zone.
I'm in the zone, and then I make like a list of like all of the other similar movies that I want to watch as a result of watching this movie. And then I take my kids to music class and I force them to listen to all of the songs on the soundtrack, and they're kind of like, "What is this? Why are you doing this to me?" But yeah, so they were maybe into this one. Scarlett gave me a bit of eye roll, but generally, we'll say they're generally into this one.
Can we talk about the scene where they're at the party with the live band? The live band is the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
90s iconic band.
Iconic, yeah.
And how 90s was it that like big brass band was back in style?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep,
which is kind
we
of
had that
super,
moment.
Yeah, it like so many. Anyways, so I'm watching this and I'm like, it's so niche 90s to have this, like the styling of the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, the facial expressions of the lead singer. I'm like, people just don't perform like that anymore. And
That's
then I
true.
realized, and I looked it up because I was like, yeah, okay, that is what it is. One of the members of the band, okay, his whole
Yeah.
purpose is that he's the dancer. So he's just
the pogo
dancing
guy.
around on the stage. And then like he's actually an official like core OG band member.
It's just
And that was his
dancing.
only
That's
thing,
his
was
That's-
just to dance around on the stage.
That'd be me in the band. They'd be like, we don't really want you to sing or play any kind of instrument. We're just really looking for you to stand there to the side, just a little further, and then just dance.
And just skank a little in the corner, Katie. Just skank.
Not even like I do like my chair dancing, like subtle chair dancing. You'd be like, all right, crazy. Yeah.
Because you can't give a big dude a tambourine. It's not Stevie Nicks, you know? Like, you can't have him over in the corner doing his thing. You really need him to, like, focus.
That would not work out.
He did twirl, that also fell over. So,
true.
Yeah. Would not look as cute as Stevie.
No, definitely.
On the subject of the party, what's with that suck and blow game? Because with the exception of this video, I have never seen this in real life, nor can I imagine rolling up to a party, pulling a credit card out and being like, hey, people, sit in a circle and let's pass this around. It's so strange to me every time I see that scene.
It was like meant to look really sexy and like, and obviously plays into the like, this is a group of super rich kids, but it apparently doesn't work. Like they had to fake that whole scene. It does not, they would just fall. It does not, there's no sucking or
they had to like
blowing.
put chapstick or something.
Yeah, they had to like do all kinds of things to make it work. So if you're sitting there and you're like, I'm gonna do that at my next house party, please don't. Also, it will not work. So you would have to you'd have to really, I don't know.
Or please do and submit a video. We'd like to see.
Send us your video. Yeah, that's what we're all gonna do with the next movie we watch.
It's just basically a bunch of hormonal teenagers finding a way to kiss each other without having to like declare I like you. It's just teenagers being teenagers.
Yeah.
Stupid, but yeah.
Hank is right here that most teenagers would probably be way too shy to actually play that game in public. I always love in these movies the teenagers are like the boldest, least introverted group of people possible. It's always like, which I mean, I guess that's, well, I was gonna say that's probably the people that go to all the parties, but then we have done a couple of movies where there's been like Can't Hardly Wait. There was a good mix of different personality types in their own kind of circles, like the dance circles,
got these little
party circles.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hank, that would have been me as well. Yeah, I would not have.
This was a mix of like, like this wasn't the regular kind of crowd. This was in the valley. It's like
it was a valley party. It was totally different.
Yeah,
it's true.
And it was, they heard about it from stoners and skaters. So it was like a really mixed bag of people at the party. I loved, so when they're leaving and I'm like Jeremy Sisko, but no, whatever his movie name was. Elton, thank you. Dear God.
Nat is just erased Elton from her head. She's like, he doesn't do
I want no part of this.
No part of this. Yeah.
My brain's like, screw that. So he's trying to get Cher alone. Like, he wants to drive her home so he could make a move on her. Because with this stupid game, he kissed her. And he's like, oh, she didn't, like, really protest, you know? So, like, I'm in, right? So he wants to drive her home. And she wants him to drive Ty home because she's trying to set them up. Katie. For our listeners, Katie wrote Elton and put it on the bottom of my little pop-up window, so I'll remember. So finally, Summer is taking Ty home, and he's got Cher. I don't know if everybody noticed, but Summer is, as the whole conversation is happening, is trying to get a Christmas lawn ornament into her car, and it's lit, so it's plugged in. You can see the cord. And then you see Ty is sitting in the front seat after, and she's holding it, and the cord is hanging out the window. It's still plugged in. Like, I wanted to see that car drive off so bad, and the chaos it would have had, because for sure that snowman was connected to all of the other Christmas lawn ornaments. It would have been chaotic. And I'm like, why? I need to see that blooper reel. Like, somebody give me the behind the scenes cut on that. Like, I want to know.
The whole blooper reel would be so fun. Like, the cast looked like they were having a blast filming this. They all were around the same age. They were like all sexy and just really, really seemed like there was such good energy amongst the cast. Even Elton.
Yeah. Even Elton. Katie, did
I don't
you
know.
mute-
What was your favorite part? Nope.
Did
Katie?
Katie talk? No, I think she's muted. Can you
No,
hear
you're
her?
on mute, babe.
Okay. Katie's chatting away.
I muted my typing of Elton and then just left myself on mute. I knew that I just should shut up about things, so it's fine. All I was saying was that that was the moment at the party where I was like, oh, it's Christmas? Like, because it takes place in California. There was like, oh, it's Christmas time right now, or they just have these
No other
decorations out. Yeah.
They did mention Thanksgiving earlier, so I guess.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
Because Josh was like,
That's
"Oh, I don't
true.
want to go
That's
home
true.
for Thanksgiving." So I guess 'tis the season, because once Thanksgiving hits, which is in like just before Christmas in the U.S., which is crazy.
Yeah.
In Canada,
You're not even
it's
finished
closer to the
digesting yet.
Yeah.
right? No, actually, I love Thanksgiving in the States. That's like one of the most fun things. I love going to visit Katie during the holiday season because it's insane. Canadian Thanksgiving is closer to the harvest moon in the fall. It's in October, early October.
Yeah. Everything's dead in November. There's no vegetables left for anyone to harvest. I never understood that notion.
It usually snows.
Yeah. It does here too. It's like it's a bizarre time for like, and I'm in like New England where pilgrims are from.
Pilgrims
like,
were.
I'm like, everyone would be dead at this point. There's like, it would be cold with snow. There's no vegetables or. Yeah.
Maybe it's just another continuity error, like that light up penguin, you know?
It definitely feels like a continuity error.
I had heard somewhere that the whole like pilgrim and indigenous people sitting down Thanksgiving concept was created like sometime just after the war, the Second World War.
Yeah.
I heard it's a fairly new construct. Like it's not something that's like an actual historical thing. It was like let's create a holiday thing.
Yeah,
We had
agrees
better
with
marketing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to be before Halloween. There's rules. There's rules. Yeah. All right. So we were talking about the party. I'm trying to think if there's other stuff that we've gotten.
The stepbrother situation.
Yes,
because
that was it.
Always kind of weirded me out.
The former stepbrother, and they never really say when they were step siblings, but his mother has remarried multiple times.
4 years
since.
ago. She says it's 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's not that
She says,
long.
like, we haven't been married. Like, they haven't been married for like 4 years.
Yeah. But she's remarried multiple
you're
people.
Still in high school. Yeah, this is all very strange. As much as I love Paul Rudd, like there's a little bit of grooming vibes that adult me can appreciate in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did sit weird with me when I was younger too, and I'm starting to realize like all those things that I thought were weird. I'm like, because I have like this internal
you were just
warning
observant.
thing. I was like,
Yeah.
I knew it's not right.
Yep.
I didn't know why,
Something
but now
doesn't
it's like,
track here.
I'm like, he's an adult and technically her brother. No, I mean, not legally, like they're not actually related. But as I told Katie, I'm like, Paul Rudd trumps it, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
for
a
the
weird
sake of the movie,
move. Like why? I guess it puts them in the same sphere together.
Orbit. Yeah. It gives
Yeah.
them a reason to know each other.
Because otherwise they
Because,
wouldn't know each other. But
like in the book, he's the rich neighbor that grew up with Emma, and there would be no reason for him to be hanging out at her house with her dad. Like it would have been too complicated for like an hour and 30 minutes, you know,
I
to
feel
try
like
and give enough of a.
I feel like 90s. So here's what I would have done if I put my my directorial screenwriter hat on. I feel like
Nice.
they could have done the trope of the next door neighbor. Isn't that in like every movie in the 90s? Like he could have even been the next door neighbor who's like mother had also died and the father was like away all the time, and so he basically lived at their house. Like there were lots of options that were not him being in college and also her former stepbrother that no one thinks is weird. Like,
I mean, and like
no one...
for the sake of the movie, could they not have made her like at least 18? Because if he was 18, like if she's 18 and he was 23, but they like specified Like she's
She's
like
16.
just turned 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the 16 that sort of makes it odd. Like, we could have adjusted the dates. We could have had a Dawson and Joey situation. There could have
Yeah.
been like a next door
Correct.
neighbor thing. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, Dane says that Paul Rudd isn't even an adult anyway, so he and Natalie are on the same vibe. It's like, well, because it's Paul Rudd, it's okay. Yeah, and it's a weird move from an otherwise pretty flawlessly written and put together film. Like, there's a lot of things they could have done, and I wonder. I didn't see
feminist movie too.
Yeah. And I didn't see anywhere in like researching sort of like history of this film and also just facts about it. I didn't see anyone being like, this was outrageous. Like there's like comments here and there that are kind of like, why though? But there was no like backlash for it at all, which is weird.
I think speaks to the quality of the film overall, though, that everyone's like, this is a masterpiece. Let's not unpack it. Like, we can't ruin the things we love, you know?
Yeah, exactly. We'll just leave that over there. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, age gaps like that and were very different in Jane Austen's time.
I was going to say the age gap is less...
I mean, they weren't actually different.
Is less shocking or surprising to me than the stepbrother part. I'm not saying either of them is less or more wrong. I feel like both of them are pretty terrible. But yeah, that one felt less surprising and shocking to me. You're like, yeah, right. It's the 90s. It's 2024 and it's still an issue. But that was less surprising to me than the other.
Yeah, it's awkward. We still forgive
We're
it,
still
though,
rooting for them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When they kiss on the staircase at the end, your heart swells. You feel so happy. She got the guy. Her dreams came true. Celine Dion played, and there was fountains.
Yeah.
She became a slightly better person. Not all the way, but slightly.
She lost a bit of her vocal fry.
Marginally.
She started talking in a normal voice, which was weird.
Yeah.
I thought that was more jarring than anything else when she's like all sad and she just starts talking in like a regular voice.
Yeah.
And wearing jeans.
And wearing jeans. Yeah.
She's like talking in a regular voice, Natalie. I'm so exhausting.
She does have like moments of being like regular or normal with him throughout the, she has the scene where she's watching Beavis and Butthead with them. She's got a couple moments where she's less, and maybe that's part of it. Again, this would have played really well if they had just been like former best friends that lived next door to each other. They could have that she no longer talked to because he's not cool or was whatever other reason.
Into crunchy granola stuff.
Yeah. We'll just rewrite this. I feel like we're now, there's been enough time. We could just rewrite this.
He doesn't need to be a law student.
Release it. Yeah, he doesn't need to be a law student. He could just be like keen to hang out with her dad.
No.
He could just be weird. Oh my gosh. Well, Paul says this one is included among
He needs a father figure.
He needs a father figure, exactly.
Yeah.
This is in the 1001 Movies to See Before You Die, which feels like we should just grab a copy of that and just work our way through. Feels way more doable than all the 90s movies. It's also included in the 2000 list of 500 movies nominated for the funniest American movies.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It is.
I love shout out to our largely male and Val and Kathy audience who are all just like in it on this movie. It just makes me so happy that you're like, nope, this is girl slumber party. Everyone is here for the girl slumber party. I think that's incredible. All right.
It's very inclusive. Everyone belongs at this party.
Exactly. We should
Girl is a vibe. It's a state of mind. It is not.
There you go.
Girl is a
state of mind.
Girl is a vibe. I will say my final. We should grab everyone's final thoughts. My final moment from this movie is just huge shout out to Murray, who quietly just is awesome in this movie as well. Like for being the men in this movie, for being the men in a pretty women heavy movie. He's, I don't know, I just really like him, and he's from Scrubs, and I think he does a really fantastic job in this one. So tiny shout out to him, since we didn't talk in detail about him. Final thoughts. Nat, thoughts on Elton? Final thoughts?
Elton, because I finally learned his name, even though I've seen the movie probably 100 times. I love it. It's fun. It's campy. The outfits are amazing. It represents 1995, what it looked like to be a teen in 95, regardless of them being rich, and just the whole dynamic of being a teenager in the 90s, like the having to remember people's phone numbers, the looking at maps while driving in a car, like an actual map before MapQuest, like before GPS and your phone talking to you now. I love how much of that pocket, that window it shows. And any kid now can watch it and be like, oh, that's what it was like in the 90s. And none of us would be, like, oh, it's just a movie. We'd be like, yeah, it was basically that.
I wonder if
the lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if people who didn't grow up like in this generation, because to me, it feels super like relevant, and like nothing about it felt dated. Like I think it's definitely like it looks very 90s, but none of it felt like you couldn't relate to it or you didn't know what they were like. It didn't feel so far removed that it felt crazy. But I wonder if that's just because I grew up in that era, so it's just like, yeah, this all feels very normal to me.
This all tracks, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what it would feel like to someone who is, in their teens now, if it would feel really super removed from everything that they're experiencing. Because it's still like they still had cell phones and they were still driving and going to parties. It felt normal enough. There was nothing in it that felt so. I guess maybe the clothes. Kat, is that your favorite part? The clothes choosing.
The clothes, yes. The wardrobe is definitely it. Or another one of my favorite lines that I still quote to myself at the gym sometimes is when Ty and Cher are working out, and Ty's like, my buns, they don't feel nothing like steel. And so I say that to myself at the gym sometimes after glute day of like, it's just not working.
I love that series on VHS.
Yeah. I feel like
whatever it was called. I have that.
I might need to just like start entering my era of like Jane Fonda and Paula Abdul and Buns of Steel, and like I'm just gonna pull out all of those 90s aerobic outfits and really just own that space.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this is my time. This is my time to shine as a we'll see how it all works out. Oh, this
long live biker shorts.
I had the black ones with the hot pink stripe on one side and the neon green stripe on the other side.
Oh yeah.
Another piece of clothing I really wish I still had. Would not fit at all, but I wish I still had it. Oh my gosh. Well, this is time for everyone to drop in their potatoes or Jeeps or what else is very plaid. Plaid is probably not an emoji that they can drop in. How many pieces of plaid would you rate this? This one.
How many giant hats?
How many giant hats?
Dr. Seuss hats.
Dr. Seuss hats.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That like straight up looks like a garbage can. Like it really looks like a garbage can that she's wearing on her head. That thing has to weigh a ton.
Yeah, I take it back. I would wear every outfit except for that hat. I don't think that I would be into the hat. Well, Hank thinks 5 purses.
Yeah.
All right,
there are some iconic purses in this.
Yeah.
Val,
I love them all. Her little micro purse that matched her dress. That's so stupid.
23 and a half potatoes from Val. Val saw this one, even though she's been very busy. Doc, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to look what they are. Inspectors? Inspector. I'm like, Inspector Clouseau?
I was just going to say that.
5 guys in fedoras. Or
5 guys in fedoras. Magnifying glasses. All right, 5. I hear 5. Kat, what are you at?
Oh, yeah, totally. 5 stars, 5 potatoes, 5 platform shoes.
5 shoes. Shoes would have been a good one.
Satin shoes.
Satin shoes. We should start editing them. All right, well, here we are. We did it. 5 Christian Taters. This movie would have been made better if Christian Slater was in it. It's my
He got a mention in it.
He did get a mention in it. Yep.
When Ty was going through a breakup, Cher's like, let's go to the mall and watch the latest Christian Slater. I'm like, see, he's really that hot. Like, he's so hot that Cher thinks he's hot. Hot enough to distract a teenage girl from her breakup.
Yeah.
I mean, break up from a fictional relationship. She wasn't even dating the guy. But, you know, high school.
He would have made a great Christian, or he would have also made a really great next door neighbor and not stepbrother. That was it's just my
could have gone both ways. Yep.
Hot take from Katie.
That's our edit.
Yeah, that's our edit. Yeah, slight tweak to this one, and it would have been perfect. That's all right. Potential for us to remake it and really bank it. We'll just remake our own.
I'm down.
Yeah, Kathy's at 4. I don't know what these are either. Bows, hats with bows. I'm like throwing up people, but that's not what that is. My eyes, all the lights on me, my eyes are like, no, I can't.
Paul's throwing up backwards hats, which got a mention during the All the Young Dudes. Scene.
Josh has got four taters, rom-comedies and more rom-coms and chick flicks. Well, we're on our roll. Now, I can't remember the order, and if I bring up YouTube, it'll play all of our episodes, which would be very meta and embarrassing. So I think next up is Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and then is Bring It On, because we're doing, yeah, and I can't remember what's the last one, Nat? There were 4. There's one more.
I didn't know there was 4.
There's 4. They're scheduled, and I'll have you know that I put Ruthless People back in there because I watched it. So we're going to talk about it. We tried to get out of Ruthless People. Nat tried to get out of Ruthless People, but it's back on the schedule. We're booked out for the summer. We're ready. No votes happening tonight. We've already picked all the
Nat wants to watch Waterworld. So you can watch Ruthless People, Nat.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen Ruthless People a million times. I love it. It's just every time we're like, let's do Ruthless People, something
happens and we cancel the episodes.
I've been pushing Ruthless People for like a solid 8 months.
Doc is ready for Bring It On. He's got his spirit fingers ready. Yeah, we're definitely doing Bring It On, and Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Shoot, and I left my phone downstairs. Anyway, we're other girl movies. Who knows? Maybe we'll go beyond that level of girl movies. We now need to do the other 2. What were they now? Loser and Fast Times
at Ridgemont High.
And yeah, still within
the full schedule was Clueless, May 23rd. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, May 30th, and Bring It On, June 6th.
Oh, that's only 3. We're short one.
Okay, so it's not my brain holes. There's not a 4th movie.
Well, we're gonna have to. Josh everyone knows the schedule except for me. Ruthless People needs to make it happen. All right. Does Ruthless People count as like it's still a slumber party because we're going from like teen slumber party into like adult slumber party. Like kidnapping is kind of like adult slumber, right?
But it's Bette Midler.
It is Bette Midler, and it relates back to Buns of Steel and to all the workout videos. So yeah,
this is true. Throw 9 to 5 in there and you've got very much a theme.
Oh, yes. Yeah. When is 9 to 5? I think predates, right? When is that? What's the year of that one?
Oh, probably. That's, I don't know, the 80s, early 80s?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe?
Hey, we're good then. We're good. All right.
That's also a good one. I love that one.
See, Doc is obviously not up to date on our schedule because we've already done Birdcage. We did Birdcage last Pride, so we need a new Pride movie. We can't do that one. We could do To Wang Fu. We'll allow
Wong
that one.
To Wang Fu. Or we could do The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
We could do that one.
Or But I'm a Cheerleader.
Oh,
yes. That's also a good one.
All right, well, now
There's
have the rest
so many
of June
to pick
planned.
from. Okay, but June is planned. Get your pride flags out. We're going to be doing all the gay movies in June.
Yes. Yeah. I think we already have a couple of. We're gonna have to. We're just gonna extend Pride out into July because likely we're not gonna hit it with our schedule. But we'll get there. Oh yeah, Boogie Nights. That would be a fun one. Yeah.
Boogie Nights.
All right. Everyone's confirming that I made up the 4th one. I just wanted to...
It's because we didn't do Ruthless People.
I was like, I'm ahead. I've scheduled out the whole year. We're ready to go. No recommendations from here on out. We're working our way through the list. Oh my gosh. Well, Kaji, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please come back.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. This was the blast.
So good to see you. I was so excited when Katie's like, Katya wants to do Clueless. I'm like, I'm there.
We're there. Yeah. We are there. Well, if you have been hanging out with us in our live studio audience, huge thank you to being here. It's way more fun with all kinds of friends on the show, in the chat, all of the friends. And if you're like, what the heck is a live studio audience? We record this show live to YouTube most Thursday nights at 9 p.m. for the next three to 5 weeks. And then who knows what our schedule does, but most Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're here on YouTube. And you can listen wherever you want. You can find all the episodes at thevhsclubpod.com or here on YouTube if you're hanging out with us here on YouTube. But that's it for us. And we will be back next week with Girls Just Want to Have Fun, because we do. We just want to have fun. They need a Boys Just Want to Have Fun, really. I feel like
Boys do have fun in this movie.
boys do have fun in this movie.
Yeah, everybody has fun, except for some of the grown-ups.
It's true. Scarlett was saying to me the other day that she thought it was really unfair that a group of people could be guys, like hey guys, but a group of people could not be hey girls. So maybe it's girls just want to have fun, but it's like a group of girls, an inclusive group of girls.
I mean, have her look up the origin of the term guys and the use of it. It actually relates back to Guy Fawkes. So
There you go.
There you go. It's really A, that's her birthday.
It's true.
Yeah.
And B, it's your last name.
It's true.
So have her look it up. It's super fun. It actually doesn't mean men as in male man.
Yeah.
It's just a group of poor people. Basically.
It's totally
Technically.
oh my gosh. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week. Bye everyone.
Yeah,